Well, hello YouTube. I haven't posted in a while. I think at the time that this video is going to go up, it'll have been about 8 weeks. And this isn't an apology video or some shocking revelation of a personal nature. I am doing fine and I have taken a break and I am trying to get over that instinct that a lot of artists and creatives that I see on YouTube and just in my personal life as well of needing to apologize to people when you don't put something out as if that's an expectation. So I've been gone and this is my return. I have been dealing with a little bit of creative block, and so I thought some of the questions that have been coming up for me while dealing with this, I thought I'd put them out there and see if you connect to any of them, see if there are any thoughts that resonate with you, and we can do some commiseration in the comments. I hope you enjoy this video. It's very different from the kinds of videos that I normally put out, but I do put out one or two like this every once in a while. So here we go. Now, creative block is an interesting subject, and I don't have a lot of advice because when it hits me, it is kind of a big deal. It just takes out all of my drive to create. But I do have one piece of advice that doesn't come from me. It comes from an artist friend of mine who I honestly don't even remember who told me this. There are a bunch of great artists in my life that have some very wise advice that they've given me. But this person said, when you experience creative block, you should draw or create with whatever is in front of you, with whatever you're thinking about, whatever you're putting most of your energy into. That's going to be the most genuine thing that you can create in a moment when you don't know what you're supposed to create. And I love that, and that's kind of my philosophy as going forward. So this drawing that I'm doing, this is my house. A couple months back, my wife and I bought our very first house. And so that's kind of one of the big things that's taken up my time lately. I don't do YouTube full time. I am a part-time YouTuber and I am a full-time teacher. So if you're wondering again if you can afford to have a really nice big house in California as a teacher, the answer is no. But you can have a cute little house, and we're very happy to be here. This is one of the most exciting things that I've done with my life. My wife and I are very happy in this home. It has been falling apart as we live in it further. We've replaced the water heater, and we're about to replace the sewer line, and a bunch of other things have been going wrong, so my attention's been taken up with that a lot. But even as I found that things have slowed down in that area and we're settling into the home, when it came time to create, I just kind of didn't feel like it. And there's nothing wrong with not feeling like making 30 to 45-minute videos about pens. Most people actually don't do that. But that's my normal. So the fact that it wasn't there made me curious about what exactly is going on and these patterns that come up in my life with all of my creative pursuits. So here are my questions, and maybe you can answer some, maybe I'll answer some as I go, or maybe they're just gonna exist and we have to acknowledge them. So, first of all, creative people who, like me, don't do the creative stuff for your paycheck, what do you call yourself? Because I've been thinking about this, and I rarely use the term artist to describe myself. I use the term teacher because that's the one that gives me the money. And on this channel, I'm only kind of known through my art persona, so this is the only place where I really call myself that. But surely an artist who doesn't get paid is still an artist, right? I'm curious, if you're out there and you're like me, how do you describe yourself? But as an artist who doesn't get paid is still an artist, what do we say about an artist who doesn't create art anymore? Because that's the other situation I find myself in often. I know taking a couple weeks off from drawing or creating videos isn't the same thing as quitting art altogether, but I've talked myself off that cliff several times in my life, and there are quite a few creative hobbies that I've had in the past where I've sort of abandoned them or just less put less emphasis on them because you can't do everything at once. So now I'm not sure if I can still say that that is what I am. My friend Peter has a really good answer for me, a good friend of mine that I knew in college, fantastic filmmaker. He once told me, "I know that you're an artist, but I wish you would stop pretending you weren't." Which made no sense to me at the time that he said it. But now I know, because I've had the experience of quitting or giving up or doing something else with my time. And it was like putting a pot on a stove and leaving it there with the stove on. It was just always bubbling. And this bubbling inside of me was just something that needed to come out. And in my 40 years of being on this earth and creating for most of them, I don't think I've ever gotten all of it out of me. And so there's still more, which leads me to create more. But I don't know why. I know why I can't stop creating, but I also don't know why I can't start creating so many times. Why can't I just say to myself, today I'm going to draw a picture of a giraffe eating ramen, and then I could just sit down and draw a picture of a giraffe eating ramen, and that'll be enough for me. I'm not sure where the blocking comes from. I'm not sure, and this is my other question, why do we need inspiration when we create? Why is that a necessary ingredient? If you think about the kind of artistic pursuits you can have in music, in art, photography, filmmaking, sculpture, painting, all of these require a lot of technical skills that you can build by just practicing and building them up. So why doesn't that help artists make more things easier? Why is it still so hard after all these years? I don't understand why we're not technicians rather than magicians. It's really hard to make magic because it's not real. This is just bringing all these things to the surface for me, and all the feelings that come along with it. That's another thing I can't figure out is, where do all these feelings come from? If you're a creative like me, tell me if this resonates with you. I feel guilty for taking a break. I feel more afraid of failure with the more success I experience. 5,000 subscribers on this channel. That's crazy. I would never have thought in a million years that many people wanted to see me do my thing. It's crazy. But then there's that feeling also like I've tricked people, like I have misrepresented myself by just the idea of putting my best foot forward, by creating the best art that I knew how to create in that moment and saying the best thing that I knew how to say in that moment, that I'm somehow this fake version of myself and I'm going to get caught. And it's weird because I know these things are lies. It's a lie that just vanishes the moment you acknowledge it, because I didn't trick anyone. All those things that I made that I've liked, I really made them with my brain and my pen and my hands, and I own them, and I didn't trick anyone. I don't mind even when I make things that are bad, and I have made things that are bad. I'm sure that you could find those things even on this channel. But doing things bad is the first step to doing them well, and I'm not afraid of that. But I don't feel that I'm right when I do that. I know, but I don't feel. And it's this invisible cage that I've put myself in, and I keep convincing myself that it shouldn't exist. But the fact that I really, really believe it exists is the reason why it's there. And it's kind of worse than being in an actual cage, because I know that no one can help me out of this. It's only myself. So I took a break from drawing because I couldn't take a break from my feelings. Um, and I still can't take a break from my feelings. They're always there, and I'm going to acknowledge those feelings. But it's just me and my feelings in a very small house that I can barely afford. We're going to make it. I'm going to figure this out. And I'm glad that I'm back to do more things and bring that boiling pot to boil over and over and over again. Thank you for listening. There's more videos about pens coming soon on this channel. And I also have some good drawings and some kind of mediocre drawings coming your way soon. If any of this resonates with you, please let me know in the comments, and I will see you in my next video.